Parma was promoted to the second division of Italy after the win against Alessandria on the 17th of June. The team might have faced several troubles during the last season, especially on their financial stability. Going 17 years back, we'll find a team of Parma that all teams were jealous of. At the end of the season in 1999, Parma won the UEFA Cup after a 3-0 win against Marseille with Alberto Malassani as the head coach. Let's see of what footballers that team was consisted. Gianluigi Buffon. During that time, Parma had one of the greatest young talents under its goalposts. At that time, Buffon was 21 years old and he already had 3 full seasons with Parma. He was a product of Parma and he had already made a big name for himself with big clubs having interest on him. He finally moved in Juventus in 2001 where he is still playing at the age of 39. He is still considered as one of the greatest active goalkeepers. He went on to win the Italian Championship 10 times and the World Cup of 2006 with Italy. LILIAN THURAM. He was already a World Cup winner with France in 1998 and had a big impact on the semi-final by scoring twice. In 2001 he followed Buffon to Juventus where he became a part of a great team, winning 4 Italian championships. After Calciopoli, where 2 championships were revoked, he left for Barcelona where he spent the last 2 seasons of his career. With France he won the European Championship of 2000 as well. Fabio Cannavaro. Cannavaro was signed by Parma in 1995 from Napoli. He stayed there for 7 seasons before joining Inter in 2002. In 2004 he joined Juventus where he won 2 championships. Both championships were revoked after Calciopoli and Cannavaro was transferred to Real Madrid where he won 2 La Liga titles. During the last stages of his career he returned to Juventus and later Al Ahly Dubai. In 2006, he captained Italy to the World Cup glory in Germany. Roberto Sensini. He was the captain of the team on that day. At the age of 32, Sensini was towards the end of his career. He was in Parma since 1993 and he had already won 1 more UEFA Cup. At the end of the season, he signed for Lazio where he won the Italian Championship and the Italian Cup. After just 1 year he returned to Parma and stayed for 2 more seasons, before joining Udinese where he finished his career. DINO Baggio. One of the best midfielders of his generation, he had already won 1 more UEFA Cup with Parma and 1 more with Juventus. He stayed at the club until 2000 and then was transferred to Lazio. He stayed at the team until 2005 but spent time on loan as well. The performances with Parma are considered as the best of his career, though he had very good performances with Juventus as well. In 1994, Baggio was one of the best footballers of Italy on the World Cup, losing on the final against Brazil after the penalty shootout. ALAIN BOGHOSSIAN. In 1998, BOGHOSSIAN had won the World Cup with France. At the same year, he signed for Parma where he had very successful years. Except the UEFA Cup, he also won the Italian Cup twice. Injuries kept him out of action usually. One notable injury was the one just before the European Championship of 2000 forcing him out of the French squad. He retired at the age of 32 while playing for Espanyol in 2003. Juan Sebastian Veron. Veron is considered as one of the most charismatic midfielders of all time. Though he stayed in Parma for just 1 season, it was enough to lead Parma to the UEFA Cup glory. The next season he signed for Lazio where he won the Italian double. In 2001, the Argentinian midfielder signed for Manchester United where he won Premier League in 2003. He later played for Chelsea and Inter, before he returned in Argentina where he won the championship with Estudiantes twice. Diego Fusa. Fusa was already at the age of 29 on that day and had already won a European Cup and an Italian Championship with AC Milan, 1 year before he was runner-up for UEFA Cup with Lazio. His spell with Parma was very successful as he won both the UEFA Cup and the Coppa Italia in 1999. He later joined Roma, but his form was never the same and he eventually signed for lower division clubs. He had also represented Italy on the European Championship in 1996. Paolo Vanoli. Vanoli is not a name that you can easily remember for his achievements. During his career, he played for 12 different clubs, before retiring at the age of 35. He never stayed on a team more than 2 seasons, but his spell with Parma was successful. On the final of UEFA Cup against Marseille, Vanoli scored the second goal of the team. He later moved to Fiorentina where he won the Coppa Italia, scoring on the first leg, and then to Rangers where he won the Scottish Premier League. Enrico Chiesa. Like Vanoli, Chiesa was another journeyman. He played for 9 different clubs, including 3 different spells with Sampdoria. On the final against Marseille he scored the 3rd goal for his team. Though he didn't on top-level teams, Chiesa was known for his lethal finishing. After Parma he joined Fiorentina where he won the Coppa Italia and then moved to Siena where he stayed for 5 seasons, the most of his career. He retired in 2010 at the age of 40. He represented Italy on the European Championship of 1996 and the World Cup of 1998. Hernan Crespo. Crespo was the man of the match of the final. He put Parma in front on the 26th minute. Crespo had already made a big name with River Plate, winning the championship twice and the Coppa Libertadores once. After he left Parma, he impressed with Lazio where he earned a big move to Inter. He later played for Chelsea and AC Milan and then had a second spell with Inter. He had won 3 Italian championships with Inter and a Premier League with Chelsea. He spent his final 2 years with Parma, and retired in 2012, at the age of 36. He is the 3rd all-time top scorer for Argentina, surpassed only by Gabriel Batistuta and Lionel Messi. Except the starting 11, Parma had a very strong bench. Let's check the notable footballers on the bench during that day. Some of them could have even been on the starting lineup. David Misolo. Misolo was the reserve goalkeeper of Parma on that game. He was never a big name and he spent much of his career on the lower divisions. He stayed for 3 seasons at Parma, and had very rare appearances mostly due to the fact that was behind Buffon. Luigi Sartor. Sartor could play in all positions of defense, and had already won the UEFA Cup twice with Juventus and Inter. Though he was not a regular performer, he was a very good choice as a backup. Roberto Musi. For Musi, that was the final season of his career. That was his second spell with Parma, and had also spent time with Milan and Torino. Throughout his career, the dynamic full-back won the Italian Championship and European Cup with Milan, the Italian Cup with Torino and Parma, and the UEFA Cup twice with Parma. He was a full international with Italy, representing his nation in the World Cup of 1994. Luigi Apolloni. Apolloni spent the majority of his career with Parma and won the UEFA Cup twice, the Cup Winners' Cup once and the Coppa Italia twice. He represented Italy on the World Cup of 1994 and the European Championship of 1996. Stefano Fiore. Fiore was one of the main reasons for the success of Parma on that season, but on the final he was on the bench. The Italian midfielder was on his second spell with Parma. He had played another season previously and had won one more UEFA Cup with Parma in 1995. Fiore was one of the most gifted and charismatic players of his generation but never managed to play for any of the giants in Italy. Nevertheless, throughout his career he managed to win 2 UEFA Cups and 1 Coppa Italia with Parma and 1 more Coppa Italia with Lazio. With the international team of Italy he appeared 38 times and scored 2 goals, as he appeared in 2 European Championships. Faustino Asprilla. The Colombian forward was on his second spell with Parma, having won both the UEFA Cup and the Cup Winners' Cup on his first spell. His second spell lasted just 1 season, and Asprilla didn't have much playing time. Nevertheless, he appeared on the final of the UEFA Cup as late substitute on the place of Hernan Crespo. Balbo. Balbo played just 1 season for Parma and didn't have much contribution on the team. He could offer much from the bench though. Previously, he had a very successful spell with Roma, scoring 78 goals in 171 league appearances. He appeared on the final as a substitute of Enrico Chiesa on the 73rd minute. Later he had a second spell with Roma, where he won the Italian Championship in 2001. With Argentina, he played 37 games and scored 11 goals. Mario Stanic, Antonio Benarrivo and Alessandro Nista were very good players but missed that final due to several reasons. All three had very good spells with Parma and their role was important for the side. What do you think of this great team? Do you believe that Parma can become so strong again? Comment below. Thanks for watching.